Hey guys, Scott from Aristocob.com here. And I'm getting the jump on Seth. We're so out of practice. We've started.
And Seth from mywieneryourmouth.com. Visit, roam around a little bit, enjoy. Jump on that.
And together, the three of us. Anyway, hi boy. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
We're going to smoke some Old Vienna from Sutliff. It's been a while since we've spent any time together, the three of us.
Yeah.
Golly.
Or the two of us.
Even the two of us, yeah. It's been nuts here recently.
I think I've seen you more in the last 3 days than I have in the last 2 months.
Interesting. It's that Sutliff
sugar smell.
Play-Doh smell. Rich and aromatic blend of premium burley and black Cavendish. Of course, that's why I grabbed it off the shelf.
We've smoked that before. Maybe not here.
No, okay,
well,
maybe
not.
Maybe.
That was one that they were giving away in Chicago. They were. I remember the picture.
Let's see. We got this October of 2014.
Which would have been
Nashville?
Chicago?
Nashville? No. Chicago would have been the spring.
I don't remember. I know it was
Gosh,
cold.
it's got some twigs in it.
I know it was cold in Chicago when we were there.
Interesting. Okay, here you go.
How you been?
Been good. Been busy. Been good. Traveling like a fool, as happens.
Yeah.
But hey, one exciting bit of news that we didn't get a chance to talk about was the fact that the Cobb Foolery Contest ran its course and was amazing. Some really, really cool pipes were entered in the contest, and in general, pleased. And midway through the month, as always happens, and I think because I just spread it out too long, it probably shouldn't be a month of announcements, because once I say, hey, the contest is you got to have your pipe entered by this date, I should just stop worrying about it. But midway through the month, I'm freaking out because there weren't people entered. Weren't many, and then we ended up having like 25 pipes entered in the competition. So
Well, I think you made a comment in last week's Mark Women's Breakfast Club.
alone,
Yeah. That there's really, you know what's going to happen.
I got a problem with my flint here.
Huh. You know what's going to happen, so that there's going to be another one. If you didn't get a chance to enter now. Or start working on it now.
Yeah, start working on it now.
Start working on it now. Then there's not that mad dash to the end to get it finished. Now, I don't know about you guys. We are both big-time procrastinators. So if it can be put off tomorrow, or if it can't be put off tomorrow, we will.
Well, I think we both get our best work done at the last minute. It's not that we're not working on things. We're working on them up here in our thought brain. But, to actually where the rubber meets the road kind of gets put off to the end.
I have a really hard time focusing and doing good work outside of a tight deadline. And my mom has always thought it just a crappy excuse, just buckle down and work harder. But all through college, really is when I have experienced it the most. There were times I would spend a week trying to write a paper, trying to do research, and I just couldn't focus on it well enough. And then it comes down to the last 5 hours before it's due, and all of a sudden I'm able to write the last 20 pages.
Right.
And I can't explain it. I'm
Adrenaline?
sure that the quality would be better if I could focus well enough to do it in a better, more timely fashion. But I really struggle with that.
When I do public speaking, it's always the same way for me too, is people will ask, hey, and can you get your PowerPoint to us a couple days in advance?
Nope.
No. I mean, I can give you what I have, but it will change. And it'll change the morning of my morning presentation. It's just because I'm always kind of working it through and thinking, what are the most important points to make? What are the things we can get rid of? There's so much nerd level stuff I like to throw in when I talk about stuff that I tend to trim that stuff out at the last possible minute. I would much rather edit down something that's been overbuilt than to try to stretch something. So presentations, I'll end up with 100 PowerPoint slides knowing I should have about 20.
We really should try that here. sometime.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. When another comment about your video last week.
Yeah.
You mentioned.
Hey, that's our video. That was the Mark Woodman's Breakfast.
That's what
Club.
I said. You mentioned Jason's video, and you made the comment about it being really long at 50 minutes. When I heard that, and I don't know if anyone else heard it this way, I heard 15 minutes.
Oh.
And I nearly wrote a comment harassing us about it. 15 minutes is pretty short.
Really,
That's
really
pretty short.
short.
That's like a half a video. Now, I know that for
Jason, it's
that's
usually
long.
dead on 15 minutes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think that they did that originally because YouTube limited the amount of time he could upload, or maybe it was the camera had a limit, and so they just firmly set to 15 minutes. And actually, it's a really good idea to do that.
Yeah. You had talked with him about that at one time, and I think it was because that's how much memory my phone has. And that's a pretty good excuse, setting those limitations.
So one of the things I thought we'd talk about, and we're going to change our question of the week format, and that is we're going to ask and answer the question that we'd like you to answer in the comments below. We were talking about last week's question and then posing next week's question, and it kind of got goofed up. So the question we want to ask you this week is, what competitions have you competed in, and how did you do? And then you can fill in anything from there. If you want to do this as a comment, or if you want to do a VR, we welcome those too. But this came up in my mind the other day in talking to my daughter about some contest that I'm considering getting into. And she mentioned something about, have you been doing contests all your life? And I'm thinking, no. I mean, I only did the 2x4 contest, and I did the throwdown of the clocks with Jay. And she says, well, yeah, but then there was Instructables. Oh, yeah, I have competed in a couple Instructable competitions where I've won a couple of those. So Instructables. No, wait a second. There's also the belt sander races. I've done those. And in a memory that I'd kind of forgotten about, when I was 13 years old, I wanted to go to a summer camp that was called Music Week. Now, Music Week was a Southern Baptist thing that almost all the youth kids in our church group were going to go. I was young. At 13, I was kind of at the bottom end of that group. My two older sisters were going to be going, and my parents had already ponied up the $50 a piece. This is in 1976, so $50 a piece for two kids was a lot of money, and they had 5 kids.
You make it sound like the Great Depression.
But I heard about it, and more importantly, I heard about some girls that were going that I'd love to spend a week with.
There it is.
There it is. And I was really kind of bummed that I couldn't go. And my dad said, look, if you can raise the money, you can go. I'm not telling you can't go. And the neighborhood that we lived in had a swimming pool. You know what? At the time, they called it a country club. It was the Idle Hours Country Club. I've seen it now. It's really a joke. It's just a swimming pool and a tennis court. There's nothing there really, but it's all behind a great big tall fence. And they were having a bicentennial 4th of July, 1976.
Where was this?
In Beaver Creek, Ohio.
They have bisons there?
Yeah, we had bisons. We were celebrating the bisons. And this was, they had, I was there just going to hang out that weekend or that week. And they said that they were having a contest, a cake baking contest, baking and decorating. Top prize, $50. Okay, I'm in. So I went home, and my mom
got your mom to bake you a cake.
No,
put your name on it.
My mom was insistent on that. One of the things about our family is, especially if you're going to be competing, but integrity is important. So if it's a contest that I want to enter, then I have to do it. So what I did was I baked a cake that was 2 round bread loaves that I put together. So it ended up looking like about a 5-inch PVC pipe. And I I decorated with icing a bicentennial flag over this. And then it had a piece of licorice sticking out of it, red licorice. So it looked like a big firecracker. I took first place. I was really sweating it, though, when the judges were going to cut into it and taste it, because I hadn't thought about that. I thought they were going to look at it and go, hey, give this kid the prize. but they cut into it, and apparently I did okay.
If you had made that cake today, you would have been detained by the FBI.
Yeah, the firecracker one. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, that I think that was my first contest. I mean, of course, did stuff in school and they used to do what do they used to call it, field day.
Yeah.
Back in those days, you didn't get a ribbon just for participating. You actually had to win something. So coming home with a couple ribbons was always a big deal in field day. But in most cases, took no prep at all. But the cake making was my first. How about you? Did you get in any contests?
Not really.
Why didn't I encourage that in you?
I don't know. Most of the things I guess you could say if I competed in anything, it was academic, and usually with academics, you're competing against yourself. Right. So,
you went to nerd camp that year. You won that.
Yeah, I went to nerd camp, but there wasn't a competition. There wasn't. I was nominated. Yeah, I've been nominated for presidential award for nerd camp.
What was that thing with the peer
mediators?
Peer mediators.
I wasn't.
Boy was chosen by his classmates as somebody who, if they had some kind of a problem, they would like him to kind of stand and divide the baby.
Mediate. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, even going back to those days, you were
middle school, lots of babies.
Fairly reasonable person. Reasoning
totally
person.
Unreasonable. I mean, I think as far as more, never really involved in any big sort of competitions. At camp, I would hold competitions with the kids and would challenge the kids as a counselor. Every year, the counselors held a game of Assassins, which was always kind of fun. If you're unfamiliar with that, every person, every staff person, every counselor has a target, and they have an assassin who's hunting them. So there's a big circle of death, and the rules for us, it was always water related. So you had to squirt your target with water. Meanwhile, avoid getting hit with water from your assassin.
Whoever your assassin was.
So as you kill your target, then their target becomes your target. So it would just go around until there were 2 men left standing, and sometimes the last person would win. Usually as it's down to the end, people know who's playing, and they figure out who their assassin is, and so you have to be really, really clever, hiding in bushes and getting campers involved to lure the counselor out. And so it did that. I guess my involvement in competitions has more traditionally been on the organizer or running it side. We've done the Odyssey of the Minds competition a couple of years, judged for that. But I didn't really compete in much. Not really a big sports guy. Like chess, does that count?
No.
Okay.
So
I like video games. Does that count?
Two things. Earlier this week, Jay Dighsx announced the 2015 Secret Santa gift exchange. Not a contest. However, one of the things that's particularly cool about it is you will receive, if you send a package, you will receive a package, and it gives you the perfect excuse to turn your camera on and participate in something that will connect you to people in the YouTube pipe community that perhaps you don't know. The person who sends the gift to you, the person you send your gift to, and then other people. It's really a neat thing. It's optional. You don't have to do it. Jay doesn't have to do it. In fact, Jay has commented on several occasions that he would consider passing it on to somebody, but then in talking to Jay, he doesn't really want to because he enjoys it. It's like, well, then do it. I mean, that's a lot of work. And, people, Jay doesn't have a dog in the fight. He's not selling pipes. He's not selling tobacco. He's got nothing he's trying to sell. He just wants to be able to add some joy to the community. So, man, there's no better motivation than that. we should be participating. So it's to those of us who make videos. It's too late now. He put the cutoff. It was you had to have made a video before October 11th of this year to be able to participate.
Oops.
But if that still means you, go watch that video. We'll link in the doobly-doo. But also, just as a heads up, November is International Corncob Pipe Month, and every November we do a video contest. So don't go making your video yet until I announce what the video is supposed to be about. We had somebody do that last year. About 2 weeks ahead of the announcement, they posted 2 videos. And that wasn't exactly in line with what I was
The prompt
to have them do. So
I'd
anyway.
like to see videos about gremlins.
Oh,
Yes.
tell me more about that.
I don't know. I'm flying in November, so I might make my gremlin video
There you go.
with my 2 coworkers. Let them look at me funny.
Great episode of Twilight Zone with
That's what I'm saying. William Shatner.
William Shatner.
The Shats.
Yeah.
Oh man.
On that note, what do you think of this tobacco?
I like it. It's kind of sweet.
Well, it's not bad. You know, we've had a lot of Sutliff. Sutliff sent us a bunch of tobacco last year. Over the course, month after month, they were sending us a bunch of tins.
You can't go to the bathroom without finding a tin of Sutliff.
And we're getting down to the bottom of our supply, and we've enjoyed. Well, no, that wasn't okay. That wasn't intended as a hint. But if you are a tobacco supplier or know somebody, yeah, we'll smoke your tobacco. Just be prepared for us to comment on it. But you know, by and large, looking back,
Prepared for
that,
our comments to be completely uninformed.
correct. Looking back on it, though, we've liked it a lot more than we haven't liked, and we knew what we weren't going to like when we read the label.
Yeah.
Right, with the exception of that crazy cherry stuff.
Yep.
It's the aromatics have pleased me, and about half of the English ones have been okay.
The aromatic pleases me.
It does. It pleases me.
Dad's aromatic.
So I'd like to say, hey, let's cut this short, but I don't think that we have.
You said 2 things. Was that the second thing? Sutliff?
No, those were the 2 things. The 2 things were
competition.
Jay's competition and a
And-
little bit of a heads up for the International Corncob Pipe Video
And after
contest.
that?
Tobacco Advent. Oh my gosh.
It's coming up so fast.
And not exactly a competition. However, you'll win something if you participate. So start thinking about that. We'll probably have some rules. You know, on the one hand, I wished that more people would have participated so that we would have more people's input. At the same time, I was thankful that people sent multiples because that got us through to the end. So again, we'll give you more details as we come along, but we'd love to have you participate. So let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Boy,
Homer.
make it a great day. You guys too. See you next week.
Bye, guys.